For many of us, making changes is all about looking outside of ourselves for the shoulds and shouldn'ts. I'd like to invite you further into using Galloway's model to look at a better way to make that change. When I think about change, I think of all the things I've heard that people saying with regards to New Year's resolutions. Eating better, getting more sleep, exercising more, being more organized. How's it going so far? Let's say we were working with someone who really needed to get more sleep. The first question we might ask them, knowing that we want to increase their awareness, is what do you know about yourself in this situation and what's really clear to you? The person may say, well, I'm really busy. I've got lots of things to get done and I really don't have time for more sleep. I know I should be getting more sleep because it's good for me, and very often I feel myself getting so cranky because I'm just too tired. Okay, so based on that awareness, like you're really busy, you don't have much time, you're feeling cranky sometimes, what choices do you have in terms of helping you get more sleep? The person may say, well, I could try to set some deadlines for myself. I could make sure I stick to them so that I get things done faster, and then I'd have more time. Or I could try to get other people to do things for me, maybe delegate more, really think about who can help me. I could also just force myself. I could just say, okay, I'm going to sleep at this certain time, regardless of whether I have things done or not. The other thing I could do is just not talk to anyone I'm feeling cranky. That way I wouldn't feel so bad because I may have said something to upset them. So that's a lot of suggestions, different things that you can do. When you think about those things, how good do you feel about actually doing them? Well, to be very honest, this has been an ongoing battle, this whole getting people to do stuff. If people would not be so demanding of my time, I might have a better chance, but it just seems they always want me to do everything for them and they don't want to do anything for themselves. I might just have to learn to live with not getting more sleep. Maybe it's really not that important. Like I know a lot of people don't get much sleep, so maybe that's going to work for me too. So what's your thinking at the end of that? Do you think this person is going to start to get more sleep, or do we have someone who's going to continue to be sleep deprived? This scenario is an example of the voice of self one dominating the conversation. The awareness was about being really busy, not having enough time, and feeling cranky. That led to solutions of delegating, creating a schedule, forcing the person to sleep, and then hiding when they were cranky. So the first thing we heard from the person about how well they thought they would do in getting more sleep was that they felt it was an ongoing battle. And then the thinking went to that if people outside of them would only change, that things would be much better for them. So once again, it's nothing that they could do, it's something that someone else could do. And then the last comment about maybe not even needing that much sleep and that it's maybe not even that important is a sign of backtracking and self-doubt. I think this is a really common feeling. A lot of people talk about spinning their wheels, feeling stuck, not knowing what other choices there may be. And that's very common in a lot of people, and I certainly can relate to it as well. So I'd like to invite you into a second scenario, and that scenario is really surfacing the voice of self 2. So this conversation would start more with how can we maintain a non-judgmental focus on the way things are in your world with little sleep. So rather than looking at things and reasons that are outside yourself, How can you focus inside so that you get more clarity about what's actually happening? Looking at the dynamics of your actions and what's underlying the change that you're trying to make. Why is that change really so important? Another place to look is how can we reduce whatever's interfering with the discovery and expression of your full potential. So we're opening awareness and really learning a little bit more about what's happening inside so that we can create more choices. Once we see more choices, we start to trust ourselves more because we don't feel like we're spinning in that same rut that we've always spun in. Easy to say, much harder to do. So I'd like to invite you into my next video where I'll give you the highlights of one of our coaching sessions.